Guess what, guys? We have partnered with Palmer's for a special giveaway. We would like to let you know what they will be offering you in your special hamper should you be the winner. So we have Palmer's Cocoa Butter Formula Length Retention Shampoo for your hair, Palmer's Cocoa Butter Formula Length Retention Conditioner, Palmer's Massage Lotion for stretch marks, Palmer's Coconut Oil Formula Coconut Hydrate Facial Moisturizer, and Palmer's Cocoa Butter Lip Balm for those lips in the winter season.
All you have to do is comment on our post the first time you use a Palmer's product. Follow us on the socials and repost and reshare.
Guys, the winners will be announced on the 31st of July and Palmer's will be delivering your hamper directly to your house.
So thank you so much, Palmer's.
Thank you
for sponsoring this giveaway. Make sure you guys are in it to win it. It's your girl, Shells.
And it's your girl, Miss Aish.
And it's Alicia.
And welcome back to another episode of Mama Drama Podcast. Guys, if you are not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, please. Hit the notification bell, yeah? Click the like button and comment on the videos. How about that? All right, yeah.
She was a bit facey.
I'm being facey today.
She said what she said.
No, but seriously,
Yeah.
I've had enough.
Because you lot are watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not interacting with the content.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank
Forward the
you.
content, like the content,
Thank
run up the
you.
review.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And if you're listening, we hope you enjoy this episode. Please remember to rate us 5 stars at the end. And also drop your views because we will share them, the reviews. People do leave reviews on the episodes. And actually, it's really interesting to watch. So, yeah. Anyway, episode today. It's a deep one.
Trigger warning.
Yeah, actually good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a deep one. It's going to be a deep one because we're looking at and exploring trauma. Trauma, generational trauma that we're trying not to pass down to our children, traumas that we've learned in friendships, relationships, or we've gathered, trauma from our parents, traumas from ourselves. Like, you know, we could actually be traumatic to other people. You know, if someone, have you thought about, you ain't thought about that, look at you, yeah, see? You know, if someone encounters you, yeah, you can actually be a traumatic person for that person to encounter.
Mm-hmm.
And we never look at it from that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got you thinking. You think. Yeah, honestly. And I just feel like it's such an important conversation for us to have as parents, as mothers who are raising the next generation. We need to release ourselves from the trauma. Being black people, do you know how much trauma we have as just black people? I don't know where to begin. I genuinely don't know where to begin. I think obviously we're going to have to revisit our childhood a little bit.
Let's start there then.
Let's start at our childhood, but it doesn't have to be what you don't want to share. Like,
We don't have to do
that.
personal
It doesn't have to be
experiences.
personal. It could just
Let's
be
just
things that, yeah.
Talk about things that we're informed of.
Yeah.
They don't have to be personal. Because I can start.
Yeah, go on.
Because we spoke about this before, myself and Shells, about this episode and what was trying to bring to everyone. And it was a point of conversation that I think that needs to be spoken about in the community in regards to trauma, generational at that. So the first thing I think I would want to set pace on is us having a conversation, because we're all Caribbeans, is about, let's talk about physical chastisement, for example. Yeah. One of the things that I think, and when I really reflect on what we've experienced as Caribbean people, is a lot of trauma, which is generational. And it starts back from the slave times, and then how that discipline that we got maybe as children, maybe the older generations, in regards to physical harm, in the terms of getting beats, as we used to call it, or getting licks, however, whatever terminology, where that kind of stems from. And for me, that comes from trauma that our parents experience, their parents experience, their parents' experience, from the mere fact of coming from slavery. And we're not too far distant from the slavery as well. So I think people really don't deep that enough. Like a lot of us, Caribbeans especially, we came over in the Windrush generation. That's only a few years ago. a lot. Yeah, some came before that, some came just after that. And like I said, physical abuse was a way of making sure that you was in line and you behaved yourself, and those types of things. Those things were used. The same reasons, or the same reasons why slave masters used it also on our great grandparents and all our family that lived in the Caribbean and was enslaved. Is it time for change? Has it been changing? What's our views on that? Some people believe in lick still. Some people don't believe in it still. Is it a thing that we hold with us because it's just we know no better? Should we know better? Should we be moving from that? It's a conversation.
Fair questions.
Yeah, there is. Because it's only a snippet, obviously, that I'm
Yeah.
bringing from the whole generational thing. But I think it counts for a lot.
Mhm.
And I think it counts for a lot of trauma. A lot of people don't talk to their parents or have issues with their parents based on the fact that they got beats as a child. And some people say they got licks for anything. It could be something's been left on the floor and you should have picked it up because now the place looks messy. You're going to get beats for that. Does that even make sense?
No.
Do you get what
It's
I'm saying?
stupid. It's actually very dumb.
Do you get what I'm saying? So
Okay. It's actually very dumb. Okay. My view on smacking, I've always said it, and I will stand by it, and I've said it ever since I started this podcast. I don't believe in it. The reason why I don't believe in it is because you shouldn't have to physically assault someone in order for them to do what you want them to do. Period. And the reason why I think that is because we're all individuals. We all have different minds. So if I ask someone to do something as an adult, let's just take a child out of the equation. I'll bring the child in shortly. As an adult, and they choose not to do what I asked them to do, does that mean now I'm going to go smack you in your head because you didn't go and do what I asked you to do? No, I can't do that because you're an adult. Why does it make it any different for a child? A child, they're still learning their environment. They don't know A to B to Z. They're learning from you. Like, they don't know nothing, actually. They've never been here before. They've never experienced life. They don't actually have a clue about nothing. So in order for you to learn, you need to have guidance. Yeah. I understand that people or parents or whoever it may be, our grandparents, whatever, they may have smacked to instill discipline. Yeah. But there's a thin line. Like, when you are angry as an adult, should you be smacking your child? Because when you tell your child 10 times or 3 times even, let's even give it 2 times, go pick that up, go put it in the laundry basket. They act like they didn't hear you. They can't, they're deaf, dumb and blind. They didn't see. You say it again, you repeat yourself. Now you're getting to the point where you're angry and you're frustrated because you feel like that person is not respecting you or they're not listening to you. Why would you then use your physical body to go and hit or smack that person?
sorry, you just got me when you said use your physical body.
Yeah, your physical body. It might not even be body. You might even go and get an implement. You
And I
might
was
even go and
thinking
get
that,
something
yeah.
because you're so angry and you're so vexed, and you pick up something to go lick the child because what? They didn't go pick it up and they didn't listen to you first time. What are you teaching a child in that instance? Like, because you're not, what are you teaching them? Because as a child, you're seeing it as, oh, I got hit because my mom's angry. You're not seeing it as, my mum told me to pick up this thing 3,
Like,
4, 5
where's
times.
the explanation?
There's no explanation sometimes. And I think it happens a lot in Caribbean households. There'll be no explanations. My grandma, I don't mind, God rest her soul, loved her to pieces. She was a pinnacle matriarchy within my family on my mum's side. She believed in smacking. She believed in it. And she said, I'm not repeating things more than 3 times. If I have to say something more than 3 times, you're going to get a smack from me, because that means you can't hear, you're not listening, and you're going to get a smack. That was her thing. She'll use the wooden spoon on your hand. She'll use her belt. Some of us got licks with things that were around the house.
I heard like some people with like curtain wires and stuff like that. I know
she
people.
used to. She's done it to my brothers. I can bait her out. We're all adults now.
Yeah.
She will make you pick. You see the bushes that people have, the hedges that people have at the front of their house.
Pick your branch.
Pick your branch.
See, how
on the
know
way
that?
home from school.
Yeah.
You're picking. Pick it now. When we get inside, this is what I'm beating you with. Tell me that's not traumatic. That's trauma.
It is. Of course
that's
it
trauma.
is.
Now I've got to hold the piece of something
That you're
I'm
gonna lick
get
me
licked
with. I know, it's crazy.
all the way home.
Yeah.
For what?
To get licked.
To get licked with.
Yeah.
Anyway, I want to hear what you have to say, because you're looking at me like I'm talking Chinese, Mandarin.
That's how you should have listened. I got this on it. You should have listened.
You should listen.
I'm not interested in this talk with I personally didn't grow up getting beaten to my mum like that. I didn't need to.
Is it because you listened?
It's not my mum just yeah, like yeah. My mum, she's short, but she'll little, but she'll tell her what. When she talks, she don't talk. She's like your grandmother. She's not doing this talking thing. Like, and for me, I feel like this whole soft parenting, this new age thing, it's not working. Like it's not working. We don't work in my household. Whatever everyone wants to say, obviously it depends on what age your child is, what kind of child you're dealing with. Now, I'm not gonna say you need to fight your child and do a madness, but I don't know. Like as a parent, especially when you start getting into this teenage realm, it all gets a bit techie. Like you're not hard of hearing, you're not deaf. Like you can hear, and I know that you can hear because you do these things normally. So, for instance, you tidy your room when your friends are coming around, when you want to entertain. But when for you time to do it, you don't do it. Nobody wants to put their hands on their child initially. No one wants to be in a physical altercation with their child. But equally, you're not listening, and obviously how much talking do you need to do as a parent? Because it becomes a thing of I've said it once, I've said it twice, I've said it 3 times. Now after that point, it's either you're gonna do it yourself, which you teach them nothing, you're gonna leave it, which irritates you further, or what? We're gonna sit down. Oh, I was talking to you and you haven't listened.
No, there's consequences.
Yeah, exactly, but what's the consequence? Because the thing is,
it doesn't need to be licks though.
The consequence get hard though, because the only consequence you can really do in this day and age is take their phone if you can get it from your child. If you can get their phone from them. If you can get their phone from them when they're bigger than you and stronger than you, let me know if you can get it. Then if you can get it in there, don't get no money, shut off the internet. So what? So what? You shut off the internet for 2 weeks, 2 days, you take my phone, so what? Likelihood he's gonna they might go out and get another phone, use internet out of road. Now they start making excuses. Now you can't trace them on the phone because you've locked off the SIM card. You've locked off the phone, so now you can't chase them. Now you can't call them. That's another excuse. Okay, lock off my phone then. Now you can't call me to ask me where I am. Now I can say the bus was late, the train was late, I'm coming home. So what now? Obviously, what's going to work in someone else's household is not going to work in that household. Me personally, I never grew up in a household where you need to get beaten like that. My mum will box you. She might box you, you might quick flick. But that wasn't my experience. For those people that have experienced curtain wires, pot, pan, belt, all of that stuff, that is traumatic. Some people have experienced something worse than that. And obviously, we talk about Caribbeans because we're Caribbean, but equally, there's a lot of Africans that got disciplined as well. There's some of the disciplines that I've heard, wild.
They do a lot of stress position type stuff.
Not even just that. Like I've heard,
they're quite extreme,
chili, like or pepper, Scotch bonnet, up your rear end. That's a child.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. My mum was old school, like kneel. Kneel on your knees, hold your ear, hold one foot, stand there for 30 minutes. You try that, you're bawling, or you got a balance like a book on your head. I would prefer them kind of things, but is your child going to do it?
See, but all that stuff, I don't agree with.
My granddad did it.
What, stress positions?
Yeah, he'll be like, go kneel in the corner.
Yeah, go kneel in the corner.
Yeah, no, I've never experienced
You're not listening. Because what else are you going to do though?
Yeah.
There are consequences.
I understand
what consequences?
There's loads of consequences that you can give.
Okay, wait,
Tell
hold
me
on. Can I
them.
just pause? Consequences for our generation, because the two you've just highlighted
It's
it's
completely
very different.
It's
But
not
what
gonna
would you
work.
say would be consequences for like our generation?
Not even the football generation. Our children. What's the consequence for a 16, 17, 15-year-old? Now.
There's loads.
Go on.
All right. So you said you feel like it may be quite difficult to get phones of children, yeah, or teenage age. It's not that difficult. Just from my experience, I don't really feel like it's that difficult to get a phone off them. And it does play a massive part in it. So that does impact on them in order for them to kind of listen to you. I do think also things like, we had this conversation the other day with some people in regards to removing things like their privacy. So do you know, like obviously you have your own bedroom, you have your own bedroom door that allows you to have that own space and place and whatever. Remove doors. Yeah, we had this conversation, but that makes a significant difference. Like you see change in behaviors when you do things like that. It may be quite extreme, but there are methods and ways of doing it. Taking away all designer types of clothes. So if you've got expensive trainers or jackets and stuff, you remove those things. Those things mean a lot to teenagers. That's part of their identity. If you want to start punishing them, you actually start taking away those types of stuff. If you let your child out in the first place, in the first instance, and they're able to kind of go out and do whatever, you're in a bit of a sticky situation because some teenagers will jump out of windows, we hear that all the time. They jump out of windows, and then they do all sorts of stuff. And at that level, it's a whole next extreme, though. Yeah, that extreme level is not that common. Yeah, it may be common if you're involved with social services, but it's not common to your average day person. If you go to a school, you would find that not a lot of children are in that predicament or situation. So that's why I'm saying I don't really necessarily feel like that extreme is needed. But also, if you're implementing that type of boundary and discipline from a young age, and you're doing all that whole removal and take and give and that type of stuff as a method of discipline, by the time you get to teenage stage, you can still kind of use that because you've been using it. It's still a given. That child is almost conditioned in a way that they know there's a give and take that comes along with that. Like I said, if it gets really extreme, you're now on the other side of the fence now, innit? You now need probably professional help because now it's gone wherever. If they belong to a group of people or a gang or whatever, that's a whole different realm. Whole different. But on your average, yeah, that is not experienced that much.
I disagree. I don't know. I don't know what your average is. That's not the average, mate. The average parent's struggling. It ain't no.
I'm not saying that they're not struggling though. It's obviously difficult to put boundaries in. It's difficult to put boundaries in with a 4-year-old. It's not easy. I'm saying it like it's an easy task, but it's never going to be easy.
But the average teens are smashing that stuff and jumping out of windows, and they don't need to be involved with social services. They're doing it. That's normal. That's a lot more common now, actually. People are just not talking about it. They're not. You don't know because they haven't been referred to social services, but it's common. It's only because you're not sitting in a room with other parents who are dealing with teenagers. A lot of people are embarrassed to come and tell, especially when you've grown up in a household where discipline was standard and you weren't dragged up. You were brought up in a good household. You're not gonna go and tell your friends, that's embarrassing. Because basically it looks like you can't handle your child. But it is common, but no one's talking about it. It hasn't got to social service level, but there's normal average households. Kids are not coming home. They're jumping out of windows. They're smashing up things in the house. And this is normal homes. Bear in mind, these are parents who are in jobs of these teachers, social workers. These are parents that are in those spaces. And they can't talk and won't talk because of their job. It's normal, it's happening. Obviously, like you were saying, Nish, about implementing those boundaries, the problem with that I find, is that when you've been a single parent for a lot of the time, what are we doing a lot of the time? Working, hustling, grinding. It's not that you don't want to implement boundaries, but it's easy if you just go out, just go and play a game because why? You're going to work, you're tired, you want to go to sleep. It takes a lot of...
It's discipline
but
for yourself.
It's the repetitiveness. For me, it's the repetitiveness. It's the repetitiveness. The saying it over and over. And it's tiring. Everybody says, yeah, do it. Of course, you want to do it. That's what you want to do because you want to teach them, like you said, consequence. There has to be a consequence. But a lot of the time, there isn't a consequence because you're so tired. You're just like, you know what? This is long, like just whatever. You just go in bed. Time to do it.
Let's bring it back to the generational thing then. So then, are you using the same methods your mum used on you with your children then?
No, and I should have.
Okay.
No, I should have. My mum was a not talker. She weren't talking. Simple as that. She talked once. She talked twice. You don't listen. It's done. My mum's not on this thing. You do something. That's it. Like a specific situation in my home where, one of my siblings was put out. Yeah, my mum weren't having it. My mum weren't having it. She's not doing this talking thing. I find myself constantly talking to my 16-year-old. Constantly. It's draining. And I get that. So whenever people talk about this, don't put your children out, don't put them out and all that stuff, I hear that. But when you're living in the household, when that's your reality and your situation, it's draining, it's tiring, especially when you have other children to parent, because that now reflects on the other children because they're watching. Having one child, that's one thing. When you have a child after the child that's giving you a hassle, them children are watching that child. So at what point do you go, you need to come out? Or I can't do this with you because the other children are going to follow you. So there's some parts of me that feel like, actually, my mum talked a lot less. She just talked a lot less. Whether it was good or bad or not, I feel talking too much hasn't really served me any purpose better than what my mum did. It hasn't served, I'm not in a better position than what she was. You get what I mean? But I think there needs to be a happy balance. And I'm not saying beat your children because some people take it overboard. You're abusing now. You're taking it too far. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think the smacking children thing is always going to be a very techie one.
Flick on the lip, flick on the ear.
Flick on the air. Do you know? Yeah, like it's just like at some point it's just like you might even do a little get out the door
Yeah,
sort of
like a
thing, a
little.
little.
Yeah, but it's like there's a bit.
But yeah, I think it's difficult. I just think where it gets into the smacking and the beating stuff and the using the belts and the stuff, I feel like too many black children, adults, our generation, and who have had their own children have experienced that, and their parents, and it's like, where do you kind of like draw the line, or is it just something like when you speak to people, they'll always revert to that Bible verse, like spare the rod and spoil the child, right? But when you actually read and look into it, does it actually mean to be beating your child for the sake of not spoiling your child? Not necessarily. So I think it's how we interpret information that's been like passed down. It's also what we've experienced firsthand. My dad will always sit there and say to me, "Oh, I never used to beat you as a child." I was like, "Okay, are you proud? Like, why do you want to walk around with a like? You shouldn't want to have had to beat me. Like that means
But
I was doing."
remember, that's their norm though, and
I
that's the
get that. He
difference,
was like,
isn't
I've
it?
never had to beat you. When did I beat you? When did I beat you? Even my uncle, I had the conversation with him, he was like, name how many times I beat you. And I was like, I'm not gonna lie, you beat us once for not doing our ABC thing properly, whatever map thing that you put up there for us to learn whilst you was out working and come back and we hadn't learned it properly and we got beats for that. Why are we getting beats for not learning something when you wasn't even there to sit down with us to help us learn it? But we got beats for not learning it properly because we should have recited it properly.
Yeah.
My dad, I got beat for lying. I deserved that beat. But that beat that I got, I couldn't sit on my ass at school for one whole week.
Good.
I couldn't sit on. It was a big lie. It was a massive lie because my dad would have boxed up the other parent's child.
And this is yeah.
It was a massive lie. So sitting as an adult now, I can say I absolutely 100% deserved it. Yeah, I deserved that smack on my bum. I'm never gonna forget it. My mum was cornrowing my hair, like on a Sunday, as she used to do, like doing it small, and she knew what was coming. So she was even taking extra long to do the cane rows. And my dad was like, "What's this letter?" He opened the letter. He was going back and forth with my school, Nelly having fights with teachers and this and that and whatnot, all because of one lie that I told. Yeah, or I didn't tell the whole full accurate story. And he said, I've been going back and forth with your school. Like, do you know how embarrassing this is?
This is nothing.
Yeah, do you know what I've gone through? And you could have just told me this from the
truth.
beginning. You could have told me the truth from the beginning and I could have dealt with matters in a different way. For that, you're going to get a smack. Leant over his bum. Pow! Pow! I went to my bed. I slept like a baby.
Yeah, ball.
My bum was on fire. Back in the school day, we had to sit on the carpet time. And I learned a lesson. Don't lie when you don't need to lie. If you don't need to lie, why are you lying?
And these young people do it a lot.
And,
They lie
and
for
so
banter.
I can say I did learn from that beat. I've never been beaten before.
Yeah.
After that. That was the one and only time. I think though, words, and this is where we go back into the generational stuff, I think that parents' words can have a detrimental impact on their children. Like, so we can put aside this, like beats, you get beats, okay, you cry, cool. Yes, it is going to impact you, but you kind of get over the beats. But the words, you will remember I've heard some stories, I've seen some things, I've experienced my own situations where the words, yeah, and it's when you're at that point where you're not even a child anymore, you're like teenager, young person, maybe in your teens, like 19, 20, whatever, the words, they can cut very, very so deep. And you're like, what did I do to this person to deserve?
You didn't listen.
What did I do to deserve those words,
You're not
though?
listening.
I think that words can be as damaging.
I agree.
I think words
Sometimes
can be
we're
more
about to say
damaging.
that. Yeah, I was about to say that.
More damaging.
Because those are the things that I think, especially like you'll be surprised how much stuff when you speak to children about when they've experienced some type of harm, for example, the actions they remember, but sometimes it's the things that are said is the things that they hold on to the most, and they will carry that with them. It's like it's a burden on their back because they will remember how it was said, what that person looked like when they said it. If you just think about bullying, a lot of bullying is done through words, and look how much it impacts on children. some children take their own lives because of the words that's been said to them, and these are of strangers. So imagine if that's coming from like a parent or a carer or a family member of yours, how you can hold on to that, and that can carry you through adulthood. What's that film called? Is it called Ugly?
Ugly is called
It is
Ugly.
ugly, innit? And look how significant that was. I know it's a
Mm.
story, but it's a story that many people I think probably experience, and how that holds on to someone that can change your personality. That can change so much around you, your confidence, who you are as a person before then and after that point, and what you are going to be in the future because of someone's words, especially if you hold that person in high regard. Yeah, I think that's probably more significant again, isn't it? Especially if you hold that person in high regard.
Yeah, like that's my parent. And they're
Yeah.
saying that I'm a dunce every day.
Yeah.
Like, imagine just like you come home, oh, what did you get at school? I got E. You dance.
Yeah.
You
You're
dance. You're
stupid.
stupid. You dance.
Yeah.
Everything. You
Yeah.
don't know how to put you're a dance. That is gonna, and I feel like words are so powerful, people start believing the words. When they start believing the words, and it happens in relationships, we can even like take it out of like child-parent context. It happens in relationships. If you're with someone and they keep on telling you you are fat,
Obviously, you need to leave.
yeah, obviously. But if they're like, you are fat, nah, I don't like overweight girls, you know, like, babe, it's not doing it for me.
Yeah, and then you
You're gonna
start
start, it has an
looking at
impact on your
yourself.
self-esteem.
Yeah.
And we'll be sitting there like, oh no, you need to leave him. So if it's the parent-child dynamic, what makes it the child obviously can't leave the parent.
Yeah.
So the parent needs to stop saying these things to the child that could be harmful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So easy said than done, bro.
I hear it, but I think we need to like make active, like we need to challenge like what we've experienced. And I know it's hard because sometimes you'll find yourself falling into, because I tried this gentle, I wouldn't say I'm a gentle parent because I'm gonna be shouting at the top of my lungs. If I have said something 3 times and you're not listening, and my son hates shouting, I've said it about 1,000 times, I am going to raise my voice because I know you don't like when I talk like this. So let's not do it. Let's not get me there. I've asked you 2 times, go and move that over there. Oh, mummy, don't shout at me. You know I don't like shouting. Okay, well then go and do it. I don't need to touch you.
I feel like sometimes they like it. It's like I said to my son this morning. I said, do you like hearing me complain? No. So why do you keep repeating the same thing over and over again that I've said to you? You know the same thing. You have chores and you need to tidy your room. I tell you every day to do the same thing. Both of him and his brother said, oh, mum, we don't like it when you keep shouting. So I writ the chores on the board. Yeah, every day I have to ask you to do the chores that you asked me to write on the board.
Do you not feel like, I've got a thingy, do you not feel like, okay, before you leave the house, let's say before you go to work, whatever your sons are called, let's say Jack and John, yeah? Jack and John, these are the chores that I've written. This is what I expect to be done by the time I get home. If they're not done, this is what happens.
Done that. They're not babies.
They're not listening.
I've got a 16 and a 13-year-old. You're not a baby. And I feel like I shouldn't have to say that, because when you lot want something,
you know how to get it done.
They get it done quick, like everyone's doing it. So therefore, that lets me, it's either you don't want to do what I'm saying, you're outright just ignoring what I'm saying, or you just can't be bothered. Which one is it? Because
I mean, it could be all 3.
Yeah, but you can do it. You asked me to write it, so I don't have to talk. So you can go to the list and all the chores, everyone's name is there, and all of the chores are out. I don't need to talk or say anything. You're not babies. You're not 5. You're not 4. You're not 3. You're all competent. You can all read. It's tiring. I don't want to have to come in and say, "Oh, have you done this? Have you done this? Have you done that? I've done this." It's draining. It's draining. It's boring, because the time I take to repeat it, I could have just done it, which is what's frustrating. And then we don't teach them nothing. So we say to them, "I'll make sure you do this and that." You come in, plates are still piled up. This is not done. You can literally get it done in 15 minutes. Yeah. No, you have to call them. Why hasn't it been done?
I think you have to teach boys punishments in that respect, because I've learned this about myself. I was an enabler. So, and like the chores thing, right? So when we got to like teens, secondary school, whatever, my mum will always say, like what we spoke about, make sure the meat's unfrozen, blah, 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 do this, the rice, I've left it there, I started cooking this, prepare it, whatever. But I, as the female in the household, I will do all of that. And my brothers would kind of get away scot-free. Yeah, or my brother would get away scot-free. When it came to like tidying up their room, like I've just got these traits of my own that I've had for a very, very long time, right? I can't stand dysfunction. I can't stand mess. I can't stand it. So I would literally go into their room, Their laundry stuff will be there because my mom will be like, you guys are old enough now. I am not folding up your clothes anymore. Fold up your stuff. I will do all of that. All of that. Up to today, these two I'll go to the house. There is a sink full of dishes, and now you are big men, and you're still arguing about who should wash the dishes. And up till today, if I go there, because of my own issues, I'll wash that sink of dishes because I don't care if I didn't eat from them. I just can't stand it. So I'm gonna wash it and I'm gonna put it away. So my dad would say, you're an enabler. You enable them to be how they are. And that's what I have done. I have enabled it. But a solution, if you don't want to wash the dishes, you guys can eat off paper plates.
Who has to buy them?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It's the principle of
It's
it.
the
It is the principle.
It's the principle.
No, I'll just stop cooking.
No. Now that's extreme because now they need to eat.
No, because you can find something in the freezer.
No.
You'll be restricted. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you will.
Here you go. Here's some paper plates. Once your paper plates are finished, you're going to need to use a dish.
You can eat a jam sandwich.
Okay, well, there we go. You've got solutions, right? So you need to give them solutions. You guys are not going to wash the dishes. You're not touching those dishes then. You don't know how to wash them up after yourself? Don't touch my dish. If I see someone touching the dish,
It's called
we're gonna have
problem
problems.
solving.
Problem solve.
This
Here's
is
some
part of
paper
life.
plates. You don't want to wash your dishes? Use the paper plates. Once your paper plates are finished, if you go and touch a dish, wash it up. If you don't wash it, we're going to have a problem. That's it.
There's another consequence behind it.
Easier said than done.
I think, yeah, you have to try. You have to, like, as parents, yeah, we're constantly having to try.
I guess
You
my
have to
friend says
try.
this. Obviously, my friend says this all the time, and I tell her, you don't have a teenager yet. So until you've walked these shoes,
You're making me not want a teenager,
and
but I'm looking forward
for
to
me, I
it.
can't, because for me, until you've walked these shoes of teen, it's not the same.
I'm
When
looking
you're
forward to
there,
it, though.
living it, breathing it, let me know how it goes for you.
But I can genuinely say that I have been around boys as teenagers and they're flipping lazy. And this is just a man thing. Not all men, yeah? But men are just like young boys growing into teens. They're so lazy. They don't do nothing. This is
and do you know what though? But part of that comes from the parenting,
and it's come from the mums
and it's a real thing. And this is what I said before.
Yeah.
You enable, and you don't clock that you're enabling.
Yeah.
So by the time it comes to that stage, you're now a bit stuck because you know what? You've done everything for that child, and now you're in a conundrum where you're like, how am I going to get them to do it? And it is going to be difficult and it is going to be challenging. But like I said, it goes back to where you started off from. So this message is more for probably mums who have children who are up and coming and in primary school still. Get your boy child and your girl child to do certain stuff, to do certain chores, because I think when you don't do it, you think that's easier for me to do it myself. You're creating a rod for your own back.
And 100% as well. And I learned, number one, be consistent.
Yeah, you have to
be consistent and have consequences, like Alicia said, because I took too long to start putting consequence in place. So when I started doing it now, it's difficult.
Do you see what I'm saying?
It's difficult. It wasn't my fault, because when my children were younger, they were with family a lot. So they would go with their family a lot at the time. So I never really had them around me.
But it is your fault. This is
you
take
could have
ownership.
said to your family.
Thank you.
No, but I didn't know what was going on because I never had issues with them.
Then you should be talking. And this is
7, 8, 9, 10, no issue.
But this is a conversation that you should be having then. So you should be having. Everything is about learning. We don't do things right the first time. We learn, we evolve, and there's teachings. There's a teaching from that though, yeah? But like I said, for the parents that are listening that have younger children, especially if you get your families to look after your kids, they don't necessarily do the things that you actually do. So actually it is your fault, because you need to make sure that you have those conversations, not only with the adults that look after your child, but also with your child.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
So guess what, guys? We're sponsored.
Woo! Hey, come on now.
Blue Rum Entertainment. Thank you so much for sponsoring us on this episode. We have got some array of flavours. I'm just going to pick them up and the girls are going to help me too. We've got blue raspberry lemonade beverage.
And then we have cherry flavoured beverage.
Okay, guys. And then we have rum punch.
Oh.
Yeah. Which one should we try first?
Whatever.
Whichever we've got in our hand,
It is what it is.
It's a fruit punch. Yeah. Fruit punch.
Fruit punch. All
so
right.
it's called pink rum.
Guys, let's see who is hanging at the end of the episode. And we'll tell you which one's the best. I'm joking. But I do love blue. I do love blue.
Guys.
I'm just going to say on this as well. So it does tell you when you've got the expiry date. It's 100% vegan. You can recycle the bottles. It does say it'd be better if you serve it whilst it's chilled and consume it within 3 days after you've
And I'm
opened
gonna
it.
tell you right now, I've opened up the bottle and the rum
Yeah.
is
Let me tell you the
rumming.
percentage then. It's 13.4% volume. It says shake well before you start drinking. So, like, it's already been said. Let's see who's frass at the end
Guys.
of this
I didn't shake
episode.
shit.
Let me stir
He
that,
was
boy.
shaking it,
Let me stir the cup, because what?
But yes, thank you so much, Blue Rum Entertainment, for sponsoring Mama Drum Podcast. Yeah, you're going to grandma's house today. Yeah. When grandma asks you to do this, you go do that. The shoes go over there.
Oh, yeah.
No, but asking them for feedback
asking
even.
for feedback, and also speaking to the people who are caring. Like, this is what we do at home at this time.
Yeah.
This is what happens at this time. Give them a structure so they know what to do. Obviously, they're parents, and you're not trying to
Undermine them.
undermine
So
them.
yes, there's a problem with that. Because
Go on. Yeah, I know.
when you're coping,
there's only so much you can do.
Because
but
when
you
you're-
can do your little handover.
because my thing is, number one, you don't really have to speak to your children when they're with someone else. Because I guarantee we could probably all switch kids, and none of each other's kids would give any of our issues. We'd probably be like, "Are you sure it's the same child that I had?" Because I've not had to say anything to him because he's done what he's supposed to do. Like, outside the road, they're going to act probably in a house when they start acting a fool. With that whole talking to family, so my children never gave no issue with my mum and that. And they never gave no issue 10, 11. It's when they became teens, my eldest son teen. That's when he started to really
But you
find
know
his
the
funk
brain development on a male teenager
is delayed.
it's not only delayed, it's the I forgot, it's a part in the brain. Is it the pineal gland?
And they don't sleep much either, do they?
Yeah, but it's the development of that, and that I believe, I'm sure I'm not wrong. We can clarify when the ep comes out. We
Google.
can, yeah.
But
No. But it's about consequences and understanding this. Yeah, so it doesn't develop properly. It only comes in their
Later.
20s. No.
Maybe in
But
their
the reason
50s.
why I say this, and I'm giving research, because you said it. Boys are lazy. Boys don't really think about consequences. They don't. And it's a genetic thing. What we don't do is adapt our parenting in accordance to that. And being Caribbeans at that, yeah, you tell your grandparent or your mum and dad, well, it's because of the brain development. Do you think they give a sod about the brain development of it all? No, but I'm being real.
They-
No,
Yeah.
100%.
So then how you parent is going to be so different because what you're going to try and do is like ginnels it all. That's what you're going to try and do in it. So you have to come in on a next level to try and attack the fact that you know that they haven't got that. Yeah. So you have to then come in on a different level. Hence why I said stuff like, boys, they like their privacy and they want to be in their room and they want to be chatting to the girl that they're chatting to and be on Snapchat and kiki.
Take
Take
off door
the
off our
door.
hinges.
No, but I'm telling you, yeah.
Take all mattress.
It makes a
Sleep on the
difference.
bed
I wouldn't
base.
even do the mattress thing. The door thing is a massive thing, yeah. It's actually a little key that a lot parents don't use a lot when they're teenagers.
No,
yeah?
you're you know what? Yeah, you're 100% right. And obviously, I do allow my kids privacy in that sense. Like, I knock their door, and I knock their door because I want my door to be knocked.
100%.
And especially because I've got mostly boys and only my daughter. So now my daughter's on this thing. She's only gonna be 5, and she's up.
she's
Turn around,
like,
turn
turn
around,
around,
turn
yeah.
around.
It's their private parts, but you know what? In prison, yeah.
You know, I've no door. I understand that, but
No,
you know
but
what?
do you get what I'm saying? So you
Yeah.
lose privileges. If you're going to disrespect me, not listen to me, I don't have to give you a door. I have to give you a bed to sleep on. I have to
Facts.
feed you. I will
And even
talk
then,
to
I
you
ain't got to give you.
whatever.
And even then, a bed is not obligatory. Yeah.
It is a basic.
Girl,
No.
it's
It's
not
a basic need. I'm
no, but
sorry.
you can have an airbed. You can have a mattress.
You can.
Okay,
But
cool.
Because me, I'm happy to sleep on a. You don't have to have a divan, big.
no, you don't
bossy,
need a
flat
divan.
bed base.
But
Yeah,
it is a basic
100%.
need to have a bed. Yeah, it's actually a basic
Girl,
need.
listen.
If we go into poverty, research it. Yeah, if you go in a poverty thing, there's a list
you
of
could
poverty
get a
stuff that
foam
you're
of
supposed to.
foam. You know them, just the foam.
Yeah.
You can.
You're
Sleep
gonna
on
go
it.
out your way and buy a foam to
No,
teach
it's
a
not that.
lesson.
Yeah, because no, but you know what it is because it's. But like you said, like you said, Leash, it's principle though. Because let's be real, a mattress is a luxury, bro.
But you didn't want to buy the paper plates.
I didn't want to buy them plates. You know why? Because even still, it's rubbish. And I'm happy to do the paper plate thing, yeah?
Try it.
I'm more than happy to do the paper plate thing, yeah? Because I would need paper plates, paper cups, all the rest of it. It's all things you want to adopt. I think the problem is that just generally speaking from talking, and as I was about to get into, when you're talking about speaking to other people, so let's go back there. We've spoken about parenting, co-parenting. We can bring that to the generational thing, because when it comes to having a child and how that person wants to parent and what you want to do, if you're not with that person, they're not in your house, and sometimes you can't tell baby daddy or whatever, oh, well, this is what we do in our house. Because when he's in his yard, he's in his yard. You can tell him what you like. When we're in my house, they go bed at 7, they don't eat snacks. What he's doing there, that's his business. You can't even say nothing. And it might cause confliction. What are you going to do about
why
that?
you should pick your partner right.
Well,
and
we
this is
spoke
why
about that last
exactly
time.
we did, and this
It's
comes
so
down. This
important.
comes down to it.
I mean, you can still pick your partner and you can still butt heads. Like, we are all human.
But we're not asking the question.
But
We said it
it's
again.
compromise, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
when it comes down
but
to
you know,
those
it's
things.
still you
compromise,
can
but
butt
still-
heads.
No, I'm not saying
I
that
think you can still butt
I'm not
heads.
saying that you're not going to butt heads
Yeah.
on different levels of the parenting. Remember time ago we had a conversation about
Mate,
whether
I
toys.
butt heads about cheese string.
Oh, no, but I'm just saying. Do you remember we were talking about toys
Yeah.
in the front
Milk.
room or not toys in the front room?
Very,
Yeah?
yeah.
Those types of things. You will have those and you have to come to a level
There
of
has to be compromise.
Yeah. So I think you're gonna butt heads even if you choose or you have those conversations.
Absolutely.
What I'm saying is, it's easier, obviously, if you're with the person or you have a good relationship with the person that even if you're not with no more, but because you have to learn how to compromise. That's part of relationships, full stop, isn't
100%.
it? Friendships,
don't have no babies,
relationships
bro.
with families and all this sort of stuff. You still have to have a level of compromisation about what you're going to do, even how you discipline, innit? Like, what we're going to do about discipline methods. Different discipline looks different in different households. If they come from a different household, their level of discipline could be that they used to get licks with the flipping curtain rod and all different type of implements, and they think it's exactly
normal.
fine because
Yeah.
you know what? They turned out fine.
Yeah,
A bit on
That's
him,
what
a bit on
everyone
him.
says, though. I turned out fine. A good walloping done me all right.
Yeah,
No,
and
it's
obviously,
This is what they say.
healthy balance, isn't it?
That's
I
what
mean,
they
we've got to
say.
just figure it out. Like, no one's going to get it correct. But obviously, we're talking about, generational traumas, curses, whatever the case may be. So obviously, without sitting too much in the whole parenting stuff, just in general, I think, as a parent, you're trying to, unlearn things about yourself and teach your child stuff. And you're trying your best not to, let what happened to you and things that are embedded in you go into how you parent, inflict onto your children, even if it's a small thing of, for instance, because a woman may have grown up in a household where her parents were not married, it's now okay to just have children with men that she's not married with. Now, let's not say that's a bad thing, but equally, that's normalized to you. So when you sit in a room with someone who hasn't had that experience, now you kind of butt heads because to you it's normal. The other person saying it's not normal. Obviously, that's something that you now pass on. Generational trauma is about passing on. There's no end to it. And of course, a lot of us, especially in your Black community, we're very anti-therapy, anti-talking to someone. So, we're very anti-self-reflective, very anti-accountable. We just don't do those things. We're anti just setting boundaries. We don't do those things. And a lot of this stuff is, I feel, to the lack of setting boundaries with your child, with yourself, with your partner, with your parents, because it's one situation to say, oh, this is how we do it in our house. And not only are you battling your child's father or mother, you're now battling family members. And then it becomes awkward because it's not your partner. You've told your partner they don't eat pork. The mum's giving them pork. Now it's awkward because your partner don't want to tell his mum they don't eat that. And now you and him are beefing or whatever because I've told you don't do that. You don't want to be disrespectful
to his mom. Yeah,
that's a boundary. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I don't know how deep or how much we can get into trauma and generational curses. I guess for me, I do believe in trauma bonding. I believe that people trauma bond in friendships. They definitely trauma bond in relationships. We meet people and you have, similar experiences or the same experiences and you bond based off of that. You don't even realize it. And I feel like sometimes we're bonded to our family through traumatic experiences. And I feel like a lot of the stuff we're not able to do because you know, familiarity builds contempt. We sit in familiar spaces and we like to be familiar. We don't like change as human beings. And there can't be no growth in change. So sometimes when the earth or the space is, you know, a bit disheveled, that's a good thing. But if you've been in a household that's chaotic, that's loud, you came from a household where there was 8 siblings, 7 siblings. Some people want to have loads of children just because they came from that. You don't have the money. Doesn't make sense. Oh, but I came from a big family. All right, make that make sense why you want to have more kids.
Sometimes I find most times it's the complete opposite.
Yeah, I think it's
When
the
it-
opposite. Yeah, when they
When
come
they
from big,
don't, they
they're
have like
"Wah!"
the only child, and then they have a whole heap of children because
They
they're
didn't have any children.
Yeah,
siblings,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you
Ah,
reckon? What did,
Yeah, you
how
see that
many
a lot.
siblings did you have?
Got 2,
You where are you in the pack?
middle.
Okay, yeah, I'm one of 5. Where are you, Shaz?
1 or 3.
Where are you in the pack?
Numero uno.
You're the top. You're
Top dog.
the
Big boss.
the big
The ogre
mama.
at the top.
The big mommy.
There we go.
So look at us. Wow, we've got oldest, middle child, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeesh. That says a lot about how we behave sometimes, I think. When I look at my children, I think older child or middle child.
Don't
very...
say ooh.
No, you know what? Yeah, the older child, I don't know. I feel like the middle child gets lost. They're very just removed. They just kind of sit in the middle. I feel like they just go unnoticed.
I don't know. I don't agree.
You don't. I think middle children get lost. I
feel like they just go unnoticed.
No one really. It's not that no one cares for them. You're just the middle
The
child.
older child's giving me sass. The baby one's just underneath your foot.
I think it depends about the gender of the middle child and age gaps as well. That makes a significant difference.
Yeah,
For me personally, my older brother is 4 years older than me.
Yeah.
And then there's a 9-year difference between me and my younger. So I was the youngest for a while. And then I became the middle child. But then I became the middle child and I'm the only girl. So I have my own little pedestal to be on because I'm the middle child who is the only girl. And I got 2 brothers on either end.
So I guess
I ain't getting lost.
Different.
Yeah. Do you get what I mean? That's what I'm saying. I think it's dependent on age, the age difference and genders and how you kind of are in there. Because if you're like an only girl or an only boy and you're in the middle, you're not going to get lost because you're the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also as well, like, I feel like I'm the baby, but I live the life as the eldest.
Because maybe you're more dependable.
Yeah. So even though I'm the baby, I have the most responsibilities when it comes to like my mum, just things other companies. I live the life as the eldest sibling.
That's because you're the last one left.
And I look at my eldest sibling, to me, behaves like a baby.
Oh, she behaves like.
She behaves like
but
a
maybe
baby.
she wanted the attention that you got as a child.
But the maddest thing is...
And then because she didn't get that attention that you got as a child, now the roles have reversed.
The maddest thing is the gap's big. My eldest siblings are 51, 52, 51 and 50. My brother's 47. The gap is like, we're talking a 15, like 14-year gap. So for me, I should be looking at you as advisory, as knowledge. I just find...
I'm so glad you said this. Let me tell you, I'm going to stop you.
Obviously,
because you're talking in a generational type of term, which I've reflected on this. When the eldest is
what
seen...
did you say?
No, it's because where the eldest is seen that because you're the oldest, you should be. Like, you should be in a better position. You should be in a better space. You should be able to do that based on the fact that you're the eldest. I don't agree with that.
You should learn though. What I wanted from my eldest siblings was learned experiences. I don't want you to be in a better position.
But they
than me.
lived their own experience.
I do, but I just want you to advise me off of their own experience.
But if they're not even in a space, you then have an expectation that they should be. But why? Because we're all innate own single beings.
But you have an expectation of me.
What? But because you're the youngest and you're taking on all stuff.
They have an expectation of me.
No, but maybe because you wear that hat, because you just said that you wear that hat, so they see that in you, and that's where the expectation comes from.
But the crazy thing is, I wear that hat, but you don't commend me for that hat.
Why? Because they're in their own space. Because like you said, they're not even dependable. They're not the older sibling like you think they should be. So knowing that, of course they're going to see you like that.
But then at least I would prefer it then. If you're not in that space to advise, that's okay. But then at least be able to come down a peg and go, do you know what, sis? You know, at least be able to have...
No, because
age always has hierarchy.
And this is the thing. And this is where it's annoying because
age
it's like...
always has hierarchy.
You're not going to come...
Remember... Don't talk to me. I'm older than... Remember, don't talk to me like that. I'm older than you.
Yeah.
Respect your elders.
And that's my thing is, no matter what, when there's been disrespect with me and my siblings, I've remained respectful to my older
Well,
siblings.
you have to, because you're the youngest.
But now,
but generational thing again,
Another
isn't it? This is
generation
what
and
I'm
I always
saying.
will, and I always
Yeah.
will. Not even just that as well. If I greeted any of your parents, I'm gonna address them as mum.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna address your mum as her first name. Point blank. Period. It's any of you. I don't. And my children will address you as auntie. You be like, oh no, that's how they're gonna address you. I don't expect my children to come and read. Oh, Alicia, what are you talking about? I'm not gonna do that. That's me. That's how I've been raised. I'm old school like that. But what I'm saying is I will still remain respectful. And there's some generational things I believe, yes, for me, it works for me. I don't feel like everyone, because I'm not going to call everybody auntie or mum. But for me,
Got
it's a
something
respectful
on
thing.
this whole auntie uncle thing.
I'll get you-
I'm gonna park that. Can you remind me
Yeah,
to
yeah.
come back to
If
that?
I greeted you lot as mum and dad, that's how I'm going to address
mum
them.
and dad,
I'm going to
hear
address
it.
them like as mum.
And
'cause
my mum will be like, "Oh, she called me mum. She'll be so
yeah,
happy
because
with
I'm going to
that."
address her like that because I just,
Or
why am I going
auntie,
to call you
yeah,
your first
yeah,
name?
she
That's
would like-
rude. I'm not going to do that, Leash. I wouldn't expect my son to call you and say Alicia.
No. My
man.
kids do, but hear this, right?
I'm not doing that.
And again, it's a generational thing, yeah. And it got put to me in such a different way. It made me go, because I do the same customs because I see it as being polite. I think it's you're
Manners.
showing good manners if you make your kids behave in such a manner. But here's a spin, right? So someone that I was speaking to said they don't get their child to call strangers or their friends or whatever, not strangers, but I mean like friends and whatever, or anyone who's not actually a blood auntie and uncle, because of the connotations that are attached to it, the familiarness of it.
Yeah.
Familiarities, yeah.
There you go. And let's bring this down to the generational thing, because sexual abuse in the Caribbean community, and not only, but
You're gonna hone it in.
I'm homing it in on
Yeah.
the Caribbean community, because sexual abuse, familial abuse is called otherwise, is in loads of different communities, loads of different pockets. Some are more rife than others. But I think in the Caribbean community, we actually don't talk about it. Yeah.
It's never discussed.
And so when this came up from another Caribbean person, they said it because I don't want my child to think that's auntie and uncle could do whatever. Do you get what I mean? Because you're giving them that title. But actually that title is not a real title. You're doing it to be polite. But when it comes down to it,
you don't know this auntie and uncle.
do you get what I'm saying?
And I get
And then there's a crossover then.
Yeah.
And then now you're in a bit of a shit situation. If something frigging happens.
Because you've created a space.
You've allowed that
And I agree with exactly what you're saying. And I agree that. I feel like that auntie and uncle thing needs to be earned to an extent, yeah? I don't expect none of your kids to call me auntie just off of the back. For me, a respect thing. But equally, I think we've had enough time and enough discernment to really kind of figure out at this point who we've got around us.
Not really, yeah.
Really?
To a degree.
If I'm
I'll
gonna
tell you
make-
why, yeah.
No,
No, I'll tell you why. No, I'll tell you
Because if I'm
why.
going to bring my children around you, Leash, I'm not going to lie to you. I'd have to... If I'm going to bring my kids to your space...
We have to be rocking.
There has to be a level of...
Yeah, but you just said that you would get your kids to call us aunties if they met us.
Yeah, but that's because I've had a level of conversation where I've gauged, okay, like I can reason with you. There's not just any person. No, like if we were all here and our kids had to come here, I'm saying there's a level. And if I generally felt like I just wouldn't bring them around you. Not anybody on the street. I'm gonna go, that's
think
auntie,
that
whatever. Because I've got loads of
there's
friends.
loads of conjurers in the community and people that you would never even think of certain things. Yeah. And I'm very, very, very overcautious. I'll probably say overcautious to a degree in some points, because I don't believe in stuff like sleepovers. Like, that ain't happening. Boy or
Caribbean
girl.
thing, you know that.
Yeah,
standard.
boy or girl, you ain't having
I've
that.
had my son had one or two, but
unless it's my actual family, I'm not trusting that shit. Like, and you have to be close family at that even for you to be staying over.
I mean,
I'm not down for that shit, because anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Can I just
family,
say?
Though.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Harm. Remember, they say this as well. This is a statistic. Again, I can't take it out.
Better
But
quote it properly.
listen, I'm gonna try it, but I'm gonna tell you. I'm just gonna give you info. Yeah.
Go on.
Sexual abuse comes from those who are closest to
exactly,
and
so
that's
I'm
your
saying
family.
that to be their
right?
family,
Yeah. But family and friends, if you're kind of putting them into a bubble, do you get what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but
And
family's
this is
more
why
likely to
No,
abuse
family,
your child.
your family is more like, you're more likely to be sexually abused by
your
someone
family
that you
member.
know, which is a family member, than someone that's
a
external
stranger.
as a
Yes,
stranger.
yes. But that's what I just said though.
Yeah.
I'm selective around all of that.
Correct,
Yeah?
okay.
And that's what I'm saying. When we give the title of auntie and uncle, remember these are people still closest to you. We just gave the stats. The people closest to you are the ones that are most likely to do it.
Yeah,
and I'm
hear
not just
it.
saying that everyone out here is a predator and the rest of it. But the reason why I mentioned it is about the generational thing, isn't it? Because we assume that it's fine to call auntie and uncle, and then auntie or uncle is the one that's actually sexually abused, and you find out how many years later, or you have that already in your family. Yeah, if you go back to the Caribbean, you probably will find someone in your family has been sexually abused by their uncle, their dad, their brother, their someone. Yeah.
For me, I'm just guided by my child. So if my child calls you by your first name, that's how I'm not going to correct him, and I'm not going to be like, oh no, call her auntie.
Do you do the ones where you go and give them a hug type of things? This is another conversation about
No, I
forcing your
don't do
children.
that.
Yeah, see,
to
yeah,
touch
that's
with-
definitely a
don't-
conversation, and I've
Yeah,
had to
I
like.
don't do that.
That's I'm not gonna lie to you. That one's a sticky.
It's so sticky. I think if it's my mum and my
sticky,
dad,
man.
those are the only two that I'll be like your grandparents, because I'm just like, come on, man. Like,
But
I know
this
you're
is-
an only child, but even still, you don't want to hug them.
sticky.
Cool. I'll be like, mum, he's not in the mood right now. Like this morning, he's not in the mood, mum. He don't even want to be here right now.
sticky,
So just
man.
leave him. There's his tablet. Just go have your breakfast.
Because this is where we go back to the
But
whole.
now you're rude.
This is where we go back to the.
He's not rude. My mum just said we
But
don't talk,
but I'm
that's
saying
their
it how it can.
interpretation.
Yeah.
But we go
My
back to the
grandma-
co-parent thing, see? Because now
Yeah.
it's very techie.
Because my grandma will say my son is rude because he will not say hello to you. If he don't know you and he don't like the look of you, he's not going to say hello. He will just look you dead in your eye, two eyes like this, and he'll mind his business and go
No,
about
but
his
say
business.
hello though, because that I'm not
He
gonna
will
lie.
not say hello.
Yeah, he'd have to say hello.
But I in the barber.
He'd have to say hello.
Wait, hold on, guys. Have you heard this? Some Ghanaian uncle decided to give my child £5. £5 He just was like, oh, bye, I'm going now. Da-da-da. Gave him the £5 in his hand. Then my son was like looking at me. I'm in the chair, like watching him get his hair cut. And he's looking at me like, am I meant to take this money?
It's because he's a stranger. Who is he?
Yeah, but he knows that he's a guy from the barber. Like, this man is always in the barber shop. So I'm like, let me see what my child's going to do. I didn't say nothing. So he took the money. So I was like to him, so the guy who was cutting his hair, he was looking at my face like, oh, don't worry. Like, this is what we do. If we see children, we just shower them with money. Like, that's what we do.
It's not and it isn't, because you have to understand
That's his
people's other
culture.
customs.
That's their customs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so
not mine though. You don't know me. You didn't ask me
I
first.
hear
I
that,
know.
but they wouldn't seem to do it
I was
because
like,
it's their
initially,
culture.
my first reaction was like, Cash, but do you know him? Cash was like, no. Then he was like, I was like, you're not meant to take things from strangers.
Yeah.
And then he just looked at me. He's still hot. This is the £5 like this, isn't it?
Because he wants it slightly.
He wants it. And he's thinking it's money. But then the guy, he could see my reactions and my
Yeah.
face.
He's
And
responded
then he
and gave
kind
him
of
a
was like,
dialogue.
it's actually normal. So I was like, okay, cool. On that basis, like...
And you have to explain to your son
And
that
that
you wouldn't take it unless I was there and all this
yeah,
type of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Because actually, so my family do stuff like that. So you actually have to give the money in the child's hand as well. You actually have to get to the child. You can't give it to the
parent.
adult. You can't do that because it gives them bad luck. So say, for example, my granddad was to give my daughter, and I think he did, but she was little, but she has to touch it in her hand before I can touch it in my hand.
Caribbeans are so
No, but
suspicious.
it is part of our culture. Superstitions are part of the culture as well, isn't
We're
it?
still walking in backwards after 12.
No, but I'm just saying some people do though, because they
'Cause I
believe
still
that
do.
evil spirits will be
you?
following them.
I spin as soon as I get to the door. I can't help
Are you
it.
being
You
serious?
know what, right?
can't help it, honestly.
I have. That's a,
I'm
that's,
too
that-
British for all that.
No, that's a trauma thing for me. Because when I
It's
was younger, I
ingrained,
had to go
babes.
to one weird church with my step granddad, and he used to make us go to this church where it was divided. You had like women on one side, men on one side. And you had to pray and clap, and I was about 3 years old, but imagine it's still in my memory bank till this point, yeah? And when we used to come back from church, it used to be really, really late, and I'd be in a pushchair, and we had to walk in the house backwards, and my aunt would have to go and quickly get the holy water to sprinkle it on the floor before we walk into the house. So she would take her shoes off, quickly run in, and sprinkle it on the floor before we would go to sleep. And
Yeah.
also, we had to sleep with our pajamas inside out as well. Yeah, there's a whole
Yeah, the
thing.
inside out thing. Whenever you
Very
put on your
culty.
pajamas inside out, it's like, mum used to, you're on duppy.
Yeah.
Whenever you
This
just
is
randomly put your pajamas on, until now I do, you're on, which duppy you're on?
There's a lot of stuff like
Kids were born straight away, red string around the hand. I don't know why, but my mum just, you put a red string around their hand or their foot. I don't know
where that came from.
Put what around
Red
a red
string.
string.
Okay. I don't know that one.
Like, that's what my grandma did.
What does that mean?
So just apparently just keep protected
off
from
the
bad
bad
spirits.
spirits.
Like, I don't, but it was stayed on until it either dropped off
by
or they were
itself.
old enough to take it off. So about one, it would be anything like a red ribbon or a but it would stay on. And I remember saying to I remember having to speak to my children's father and be like, do not remove this. Like, out of respect for me, don't remove it. And don't let no, I didn't remove it because I would have been fuming. Because that's like and obviously I don't know what it means, but
You're picking
I've been
it up.
raised with it.
It's the thing though, we just pick up things and sometimes
And when I asked my mum one day, Mum, what does it mean? And she was like, boy, I'm not even know.
And meanwhile,
it's a
right?
madness.
It is a madness. I'll tell you why. Yeah.
Let's not even.
No. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna come back to it. Yeah. Shackles.
Who's this?
Binding. 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 Yeah. Binding. That is a binding thing. So when we talk about generational stuff, and now we've got a segue into the actual, we talked about spiritual stuff that can happen in your families, and it could be a spiritual warfare that your family has had for generations. For all you know, because no one asked the specific questions, rather than the fact that you have to do that, that is a binding, and then you've allowed that continuation without even knowing. Because you know what? Having something on your wrist or your foot signifies
like a shackle, like a chain, of course,
which is binding.
But obviously you don't
ask. You just do.
Listen, I'm just giving you just some sprinkles, but a sprinkle of thought into this, because that's what it actually signifies.
I would still do it.
Ask Clark.
Because you got it's ingrained. Like it would be.
But wouldn't you question more though?
No, because it would be. I can't lie to you. It'd be knee jerk. I've tried. It's like as weird as it sounds. I've tried to go in a shop and pick up something from the front. I phically can't do it. I put it back. I have to take something from behind.
Okay.
So I know that I've tried to walk in there. I can't do it. I literally switch at the door and I tell the kids. So I would automatically. It's just like stretching the baby. 2-week-old, I'm dangling it by the neck. My baby father never understood it. Stretching them by one arm, oil and rubbing.
I don't know all this stuff either.
I was like to stretch them.
Just explain it so everyone knows what it is.
When you have a newborn, my mum always said you stretch them. So they come home maybe a week or two or so, and the first bath would be like a nice warm bath. You old them. So my mum would hold the child up by one arm, hold them by their neck. Hold them by one leg, upside down. And when she'd cream our faces, she'd always say, pick up them nose. So she would cream and she would pull up the nose bridge.
So straight.
Yeah.
That's a generational thing again.
But again, I don't.
And you done it with your kids.
Because it was just...
Are you hearing the strippiness?
When I cream my daughter's face now, pick up her nose.
My nan on my dad's side, she always used to be like, Rochelle, the nose
bridge. Pick up your nose.
Imagine, guys.
I got a black nose.
Imagine, guys, just for us to have European features. You can't
help it. You can't help it, though.
The European feature.
But you can't help it, though. Can you?
No.
I didn't do it. I didn't
do that to my kids. But my nan was like that as well. But again, this is the generational stuff.
My mum's in her 70s, so she's old school. So I got raised by old school mum, so I picked it up. So for me, I can't even tell you, and it's not a problem, but that's just what I know. Like, that's just what I know. Like, you didn't wash the baby until I think my mum was like 2 days, or something, like a week, like 2 days a week,
or so. 2 weeks or something.
Yeah, you'd wait like a week and then pop her bathe, but not no bubbles, nothing, just like olive oil. You know, the Samaritans on with the white top. Pour a little in the bath, and we never had problems with their skin and all of them kind of things. So. Obviously, we could be here for hours talking about what generational curses and all the traumas and whatever not. At the end of the day, we're all trying to learn and not repeat stuff that we know. And it's hard.
Absolutely. I think there are, just to flip it on the head, and before we wrap up, I think there are positive generational things that that come, because I think what tends to happen is people sit there and like they'll go online and they'll just talk about, oh, this happened to me, that happened to me, I'm trying to break this, we need to do this differently with our children, we need to do that differently. But then let's actually talk about the positive things, because there are positive things that have happened that's been passed down from generation to generation, even with like just, I don't know, how you clean yourself, self-care, like doing all of those little things. There are positive things.
I'm glad I have a Dettol bath.
There we go. There are certain things that are positive
I
that
think
you've
it's
learned.
good. Like I would say for me would be things like making medicinal stuff. So we
Ginger, lemon,
we call them bush teas, innit?
Yeah.
So we
Cersei
call
and
them.
them things.
So yeah, when
Yeah.
you make your bush tea and stuff like that, they have all the natural remedies. You can use the natural
100%.
stuff. But if my children have coughs, I know how to whip up something which is natural and it works.
Yeah.
So
1000%.
those sort of things I think are really, really part of the culture. Is something that I would not want to let go. I asked my nan, like, how do you do this? And I may ask my other nan, because they're from different islands, so they may do something a little tiny bit different. But you find out all that stuff, because all that stuff's very important. Types of food that you should be eating when you've got a cold, to sweat out. Don't tell you to
For the
sweat out.
pregnancy, what stuff you should eat when you're pregnant.
Yeah, all of those things.
Even little things like every Sunday doing your child's hair, it's a standard. Hair get washed, or Saturday, sit down in between the legs. That's a bonding experience.
Yeah.
It is.
It is.
I don't know if it's the same for you, Niche, but I don't play with people's hand in my daughter's hair.
Oh, there's another thing. So yeah, I don't let. No, when I go to the Caribbean or I go anywhere, I was told from a young age, don't let anyone
put
touch
their hands in your hair.
You know that,
But this is such a
and you know what's so funny, yeah?
Don't let no one touch your hair.
I remember battling with my daughter's father. Like, this was a big. We were battled because he couldn't understand it.
Yeah. But like, it's a proper Caribbean
obviously,
thing.
you can see, guys, chop off. Last week episode, I had hair. Like Lee said, standard.
You don't let no one.
You don't let no one to put your hand in your hair. The only people that go in my daughter's hair is her auntie, my niece, and myself. And my mum and her grandma. When I had my daughter, I couldn't claim her because I had 3 boys first. I learned specifically for that. And I grew my hair because I wanted my daughter to love her hair. My daughter loves her hair now, so that's how I was able to cut mine off. But same like this, I don't, when I mean I don't play that, no one can't wash her hair. Dad knows, he has to call me and I will flip.
Listen, no one can't even touch my hair. Are you mad?
I told my daughter, she even go mad, don't touch my hair.
Oh, wow.
She knows, like, she said, Daddy, don't.
Yeah.
Like, she gets
But that's
funny.
a superstitious thing as well, guys.
Because people are bad mind.
No, but they say because they put things on you. From time they touch your hair.
No,
but you know that
Yeah,
already.
but guys, I'm not with the heebie-jeebie stuff, you know that.
No, sure, but there's a little piece of you that's a
you
bit
know
like,
what, right?
No, a little bit, no, I was told, don't
She's
let
so
no one put
British.
their...
She's
I am British.
so British.
I'm watered down, guys, all right?
Yeah, she's very watered down, yeah?
Whatever.
Like, she's so watered down, it annoys me sometimes. And it's just like, remember your roots,
I
love.
remember them, and I remember
your roots.
Remember your grounding.
Okay, yeah, you did.
I did say, don't let no one put your hands in your hair.
Meanwhile, people are touching your hair. You're like,
no.
One of my hair's falling out.
Mate, the way my face is just screwed up in public,
I'm
no one
even
would
funny,
ever.
like, same hairdresser. Like, I don't, even when you go
Same
African
hairdresser.
Same hairdresser.
my hairdresser knows you can let someone plait at the ends, you're the only one doing the base.
Yeah.
I will
Same
lose it.
hairdresser.
I don't let no
seriously.
one cut my hair. Only now, like, there's only one person that cuts my hair.
Standard. I had the same one for about 50 years.
Yeah, my other hairdresser, she's gone, and it's like cool. Like,
Anxiety to find a new one, innit?
Because who
Shaking. Because who touched my hair like her?
I'm
Because
scared.
I will have to box
The
it.
last time the person done my hair was
Messed it up.
itching,
This
and
is
burning,
what I'm
all the
saying.
finger sides all come out.
Do
from
you
the
not
hair.
think that was psychological? Like, you know
Bridget,
when you put something in your
No.
psyche?
No. It's because only certain people can put their
Hands
hands.
in your hair.
There you go.
No, my
Oh.
grandma did say though, whoever, like, your mum's got good hands for hair.
I was just about to say the good hands.
Ask it because good hands.
And they
Some
have
people
good hands.
like they have good hands.
Some
Yeah.
people
And
do not have
right.
Good
And I'm
hands.
just like, grandma, where did you get this
No,
from?
but it's real.
But she's
It's
Especially
real.
when they're
No
hating, like if you have long hair, they don't have, and their hair is tough, and they'll be coming your time saying, "Oh, this hair." Shut up, man.
No, but if they say that and you notice that, the next minute, watch when your hair
Starts dropping out. Fight.
It's
Lord
a real
have
thing,
mercy.
guys.
We have done the generation. We've done it out. We've spoken about it. It's been good. This was a good conversation. I actually was looking at us at the beginning like, why are we talking about this? It's too deep. But look at where we got to. I think there's positives. There's also negatives. There's things that we need to change up and switch up. But also there's things that we need to hold on to.
Yeah.
And we can't let go of the culture. We can't forget who we are, even if we are watered down British people. Anyhow.
By herself.
You know what I mean?
I know, not these two.
Don't listen to Shells.
They're seasoned.
Me and Alicia know what's
Washing
popping
my
over here.
chicken with lemons and limes.
Make sure
Well,
you
I
wash
do
it.
that as well. Stop that. Mine's currently in the fridge right now, in
Yeah.
the wall with lemon in there.
Yeah.
So, and a bit of
PSA,
salt.
make sure you know how to wash your drawers by hand. Not
Scrub
every day
that.
washing machine, club it.
No, it's true. You know.
should know how to-
Wait, just off
Yeah,
topic.
but do you know what? I really hate when it just really hurts my hands.
I know, but
yeah,
Well, I'm just gonna say something.
I'm not gonna lie.
I
shirt
don't wear
colour.
pants.
What did you say? What did she say?
Ignore that. Cut that out.
What did she just say,
Cut.
Alicia? Alicia, what did she say?
She said too much information.
You're out of hand.
Commando every day, baby. No, I'm joking. I got a thong on now.
I knew you have. You said it.
But you saw
You
that.
guys, you didn't see that.
You cutting this all out?
No, I'm just saying. I think the vagina and the pumps needs to breathe, but that's another topic for another
it
episode.
does,
It
but-
needs to be. We cannot be stuffing our vaginas in pants and then
We're
putting
cutting
trousers
this
on.
part, guys.
No, we can't.
This has been Mama Drama Podcast, yeah. We are out. Peace!